So there I was, left with $43 to my name, and all I could think was, I've got to do something else. And I remember the last time I was really, really happy was when I was working in the tree care industry with my dad, which is the industry that I grew up in. But I also remember that I thought, well, even though that's the last time I was really happy, that I would never, ever, ever go back into the tree care industry because I didn't like the way my dad did it. And I knew something had to change. And the fact that that was the last time I was really happy was working in that industry with my dad and my brother, I knew that that was the direction that I needed to go. But the only problem was all I had was $43 to my name. So I did the only thing that came to mind, which was to get a business card and to try to start a business. But how does one start a business with just $43? And so I thought, well, if I'm gonna get a business card, I'm just gonna go to Kinko's, which it's now FedEx, but now back then it was, Kinko's. And so I walk into Kinko's and I tell the guy, yes, I'm starting a tree service. I got $43. And he looks at me and he goes, well, our smallest order is $88. And I'm thinking, this can't be real. I'm depressed. The last industry I was in, basically the business was going down and I don't even have enough money to buy business cards. Well, there must have been something in me because the guy goes, I tell you what, if you give me the $43, I'll go ahead and get started on your business cards. Just bring me the rest of the money by the end of the week. I said, good, no problem. So when I left the Kinko's, I just decided to take a drive because whenever I get frustrated or upset, I have a tendency to just go take a drive or take a walk. Well, this time I took a drive. And while driving down the street, I was thinking, well, you know, if I have no money, how am I going to start a business? And I thought, well, at least I'll get some equipment, some used equipment. And that used equipment that I wanted to start with was a truck. And I thought, well, I'll at least have to have it painted. And so I went to what I saw on the side of the road, which was a place that painted trucks. And I walked in and there was a Jamaican man behind the counter. And I tell him, I was like, listen, I want to get a truck painted and I want to know how much it would cost. Because in my mind, I'm thinking there's going to be some type of cost to getting this started. And at least if I can get it on paper, I can get it in my head and focus on how to get the money. And so he goes, okay, what kind of truck is? I was like, well, it's a Ford and the bed is about 8 feet wide. It's about 14 feet long and the sides are about 4 feet high. And he goes, what's a little lady like you doing with a truck like that? And he said it in this thick Jamaican accent. And I said, well, I have a tree service. And he goes, you have a tree service? I was like, yeah. Now, keep in mind, I just started the business. I just given my last $43 away. And this guy says, do you have a tree service? I was like, yes, I do. And he goes, how much would you charge to cut those 3 trees down outside my building? Because I can't see my sign. People can't see my sign because of the trees. I gave him a price and he looked at me. He goes, really? I was like, yeah. He goes, when can you do the job? I said, I tell you what, we're a little booked right now, but I believe I can get you on the job by Saturday. And that's exactly how I started my business. Business was booming. I was buying equipment. I got to a point in my life where I could actually buy my dream home, which I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there was a show called Dallas way back in the day. And the property was surrounded by this fencing and it had horses. Well, I had actually gotten to a point in my life where I had horses. I had a beautiful property. But the problem was the economy was starting to shift. This was back in 2008, 2009. And it was getting harder and harder to get payment from customers, but yet I'm still spending money trying to keep things going. And I'm thinking, okay, this is just part of business. Soon this will be over. Well, trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, trying to keep things going, I found myself in a situation where there was a knock on the door in the middle of the night. And I had learned in network marketing, I'd learned to negotiate and make deals. And I had negotiated and made deals on a couple of my trucks, just to kind of keep things going until I got the money. Well, in the middle of the night, I got a knock on the door and it was a gentleman there telling me he was there to pick my truck up. And it was actually the main vehicle that we needed to pick debris up from our customers. And I don't know, something snapped inside of me. There's times when I get upset, go crazy and it's a little, hairy situation, but something inside me snapped and I just went numb. I didn't feel anything. I just looked at him. I looked at my husband and I gave him the keys and went right back to bed. But when I woke up that morning, something was different. I said, I've got to do something different. And that was probably one of the toughest days in my life, having to see my guys come in to go to work, and one of our trucks was gone because it got repossessed. And I just remember thinking, this dream thing is tough. But I also remember one of my mentors telling me that if you persevere, if you never give up, you'll succeed. And I just thought, I may not know exactly what to do, but I need to do something. And one of my superpowers is being able to persevere through tough times. And that's what I did. I persevered. We wound up working hard, closing a few deals, getting some money, and being able to replace that truck. But not only were we able to replace that truck, we were able to buy 3 more trucks. And that wouldn't have happened if I would have given up the day that my truck was repossessed. I always tell them, never give up, persevere through whatever adversity you're going through, because there will be light on the other side. So there I was on Covington Highway, at the corner of Covington Highway and Panola, at a pawn shop for the 3rd time, pawning my wedding ring because we did not have money for payroll. And the gentleman behind the counter, he became kind of a friend, mentor, father figure, if you will. And so he would have these long talks with me, and he would always end those talks with, Doni, you need to handle your business. And one of the big lessons in my life has been learning to handle your business. And I always tell people that my life started to change for the better when I learned to handle my business. So what does handle your business look like? Handle your business means don't be running around with tags that ain't quite straight on your trucks or your cars. Handle your business means filing the right paperwork and getting right with your taxes. Handle your business means surrounding yourself with good people that inspire and motivate you and want to see you win. Handle your business means, getting rid of toxic people in your life and learning to focus on your dream and not, pay attention to distractions. So for me, the biggest thing in my life that has made the change that has brought me to where I am right now was getting to a point where I wasn't trying to, take a shortcut or basically take the easy way out. I had to learn that there is no easy way out, that long term, if you want to be successful, you've got to handle your business. And I think that started to shift probably right around 2009. I said, things are not working. Things are not working with me doing things the way I've been. And growing up, I never had the opportunity to learn from business people. I always saw my dad doing things halfway, my mother doing things halfway. And in business, you've got to do things all the way. And so if I have any advice in life, it would be to handle my business, or handle your business, handle our business. Yeah, basically handle your business. 21 years old. What would I tell my 21-year-old self? Well, at 21, I was working in retail, and luckily I was in management. And as a manager, I kind of created the atmosphere for our stores. And this was back in the days where, you had your merry-go-rounds and all these, clothing places that were geared towards young people. And young people like to party. So I like to party. I like to go out. I love to hang out with friends, and then get right to work the next day. A little hungover maybe, but that was me back at 21. But looking back at my 21-year-old self, I would say one of the main lessons is thoughts are things. Be careful what you think about. Back then, I used to think a lot about how I grew up, and I think the reason why I partied so much and, was so fascinated with hanging out with friends and as opposed to focusing on life is because I wanted to kind of dilute the memories from my childhood. And so if anything, I would say control what you think about. Think about your dreams, dream big, think about, the type of future you want to have. That would be one of the main things that I would tell my 21-year-old self, because I remember focusing in on what I look like and what clothes I was going to wear and, who said what to, who or what guy I was going to date. And those are all fine and good, but in the long run, if you want to have a dream come true, you've got to be careful what you think about and make sure that what you're thinking about is in line with your goals. The second thing I would say is be mindful of your habits, rituals, and routine. Create healthy habits, rituals, and routines. And by doing so, you'll set yourself up for success in life, because what you do repetitively becomes a habit. And that's so important. And I think back then, I wasn't so much focused on my habits. I was just focused on having fun. And then I think the last thing I would tell myself at 21 was to surround yourself by great people. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Surround yourself by good people that are going places. And don't be afraid to be in rooms where people are maybe a little bit further ahead of you, people that have achieved great things. So yeah, that's what I would do. I would say surround yourself by great people. Don's Tree Service, that is my company. Don's Tree Service is a residential and commercial tree care company based in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And we have been blessed to have wonderful teams and wonderful people that work within our company. And my goal is to build the company to a point where we can create generational wealth for my family, but also the families involved with the company. And we're going to do that by expanding more into the residential area, but also focusing very heavily on underserved areas. And even in our motto, our goal is to serve the underserved. And we feel like that's important because we've noticed that there are certain communities that get a lot of shine in our industry. And then there's other communities that people don't necessarily want to support or serve. And so our goal is to be the go-to tree service in the Atlanta area and beyond. So that's our big thing right now, is growing the company to a point where we can expand into other areas, meaning other states, other industries besides, just the tree care industry. We want to get into reclaimed wood, basically recycling the product and using it for wood products, whether it's firewood, construction material, all different types of areas that I want to go in to help continue to build the company and build a team of people that will continue to grow for generations to come. Don's Tree Service. Why do people hire us? I tell you, I think it goes back to our core values. And our core values in our company are love, integrity, respect, teamwork, discipline and consistency, and gratitude. And I pretty much feel like that sums it up as to why people hire us. Every day we get testimonials of people that say, that they thought it was going to be difficult hiring a tree service and they wanted to make sure they had somebody trustworthy. And after working with our company, they would never choose another company because we do have trustworthy people. We don't charge extra for cleanup. We're licensed and insured, and we work with integrity, and we do everything we do with love, from the estimators that go out to do the estimates all the way to the people that clean up the debris. Everybody in our team comes from a space of love. And I think that's especially why our residential customers love us so much. The other thing that we focus on is commercial tree work. And the reason why I feel like our commercial customers trust us so much is because we actually do what we say we're going to do. I cannot tell you how many times I've had commercial customers call us and thank us because we actually showed up when we say we're going to show up, or we finished a project when we said we were going to finish a project, basically building trust with them. And that helps them build trust with their customers. So our goal as a team is to continue to service our customers that are residential and our customers that are commercial. And we do it all from a space of love. Media expertise. All I can say is excellence. Excellence, excellence, excellence. And I feel like they also come from a space of love. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with this company, and I would love to work with them again in the future. And so if you have a company, a business, or a dream that you want to see come to life, I truly believe that you cannot go wrong by using Media Expertise.